Better defer on this one. Okay. Court in session at cause number 326-180. Case of South State of Texas versus Sydney Selman. Ms. Selman, is that your full name? Okay, Ms. Selman, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Selman, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Selman, you may put your hand down. How you doing, Ms. Selman? Oh, that's good. You're doing fine. I'm doing fine too. Now, Ms. Selman, you are here represented by your attorney, Mr. Kevin Lane. Mr. Lane, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
That's good. Ms. Selman, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This document was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. The information alleges that on or about March 20th of 2018, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of criminal mischief. This information further alleged that during the period from September 7th of 2018 until December 6th of 2019, that the above offense was pending in a court of competent jurisdiction, to wit, in cause number 319860 in the County Court at Law number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas. And it was styled State of Texas versus Sydney Selman. Now, Ms. Selman, that enhancement paragraph, the paragraph that I just read, which is called the enhancement paragraph, basically, it tolls the statute. What that basically means, since this case was committed on March 20th of 2018, and they refiled the case on, it was dismissed and it was refiled on June 5th of 2020. That just simply means that the statute of limitations would have ran. But because this tolling paragraph that is in here, it states that the time stopped, it told it, it stopped it for over a period of a year, and then they refiled it. So in essence, this basically says that because the statute stopped and then they refiled it on time. Now, Mr. Lane, do you have any objections?
No objection.
Okay. Now, Ms. Selman, do you have any objections? Okay. And you're waiving any rights that you have regarding the statute of limitation?
We do, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, Ms. Selman, to this charge, how do you plead this charge of criminal mischief? Guilty? Now, you're pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Selman, I also have before me a document that is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, and also another document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. Now, the misdemeanor plea admonishments, I'll show to you first. Ms. Selman, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, Ms. Selman, are these your initials next to your attorney initials on the first line that is next to a box that's checked guilty?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, Ms. Selman, is this your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document that is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, Ms. Selman, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature above the line that is titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
There are 2 boxes that are checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Second box states that you're waiving your right to appeal, which means you're giving up your right to appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Selman, I also have another document here. This document is titled Discovery certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
It is.
Ms. Selma, prior to signing and initialing these documents that I have just mentioned to you, did your attorney, Mr. Lane, go over these documents with you?
He did.
And did you read and understand everything that Mr. Lane went over?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Selman, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No objection.
No objection. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Lane, you have advised and counseled Ms. Selma. Is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Selma, your attorney, Mr. Lane, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Selman, I will accept your plea your plea guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
Your Honor, the agreement is for 1 year of deferred probation, 24 hours of community service, and restitution in the amount of $1,776.04 paid to complaining witness Christina Andrade.
Okay. Ms. Selma, the state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation. During this probationary period, you will not be required to pay a fine. However, you will be required to pay court costs in the amount of $352. You'll also be required to pay restitution in the amount of $1,776.04 to Christina Andrade. You will be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month. Now, the total monthly installments that you'll be required to pay is $270. Will you be able to pay the $270 each month? Now, before we go any further, Ms. Selma, thank your attorney, Mr. Lane, informed the court that you received probation in 2 other cases. Is that correct? And it's 5-year probationary period in the felony court. Is that correct? So basically what will happen is because you're on probation in multiple cases, you would not be required to pay a probation fee in this case. But so your probation office will make those adjustments, okay? So instead of paying $270, you'll probably be required to pay $210 a month,
Yes, sir.
because it's probably gonna be reduced by $60,
Okay.
all right?
Yes, sir.
Now, you'll also be required to perform 24 hours of community service. And as I said earlier, you'll be required to pay the restitution of $1,776.04 payable to Christina Andrade. You'll also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. Ms. Selman, do you understand this? Now, Ms. Selman, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Now, Ms. Selman, the court is going to defer a finding of guilt and place you on probation for 1 year. During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay court costs of $352. You'll be required to pay restitution of $1,776.04 payable to Christina Andrade. And the probation fee of $60 will be adjusted. And your total monthly installments without the adjustment is $270. you'll be performing 24 hours of community service as well as the other standard terms and conditions of probation. Now, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
You think the state's offer is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes.
The court is going to defer finding of guilt and place you on probation. As stated, Ms. Selman, if you successfully complete this probationary period, this case will be dismissed. It will not appear on your record as a dismissal, and you may qualify for a non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney, Mr. Kevin Lane, about non-disclosure. He's quite competent in those matters. Now, Ms. Selman, please stand on the X next to your attorney. Once you stand on the X, you're going to follow the directions of the clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, you are.
Why request your comments? All one time, just white request it. Okay, and I'll need you to sign, Mr. Lane.
Oh, you did? Okay, that's right.
Oh. On this one?
Your Honor, Mr. Paget advised that he has an 11, he had an 11 a.m. plea in CDC, and then he was going to the jail.
Okay, Mr. Porter. Yeah, his mic is on mute. It's still on mute. Yeah, his mic is still on, okay. Is the defendant's mic on?
Yes, sir.